guys, welcome to another tutorial. In this tutorial, we will be building this social media dashboard using Tailwind CSS and a couple of lines of JavaScript for this button here to toggle the menu. So it's very easy. So let's get started. First of all, in the VS Code, create a folder and give it a name, and after that let's create two new files, index.html and script.js. On the index.html, let's create our boilerplate by pressing the exclamation and enter. Let's give it a title of social media dashboard, and let's link our script.js file. So script src script.js, and let's get the Tailwind CDN. For that, let's go to the browser and search for Tailwind CDN. Click on the first link and let's get this line. I can copy it and paste it here. Let's give it a comment, Tailwind CDN. Okay, now let's test this out if it's working or not. Give it a class of bgred 900. Let's open this with live server. Make sure you have the extension installed. Okay, perfect, it's working. And let's put it around here, side by side with our VS Code. Okay, perfect. Now let's remove this class and give it a bg-gray-100 and save it. Okay, it's reflecting, perfect. Now on the dark mode, we want bg-gray 900 and transition to colors, and also duration of 300. All right, let's collapse this. Now inside the body, let's create a div with a class flex dash call. On medium, flex row and minimum height of screen. Inside this div, let's create a mobile menu button, and let's create a div first. Give it some class names. Sorry, not class name, it's class. So give it a bg-gray-800, text to white, width to full, on medium, hidden, padding to 4 all around, flex justify dash between, and items dash center. Okay, let's save this. It will be hidden on medium and large screen and appears on the small screen only. So inside this div, let's create another div with a class of text to XL, font semi-bold, and let's give it a title. You call it anything you want. Let's create a button here, and on click we will create a function and also give some class names here of text-white, text-2xl, transition-all. I think that's it. And let's also get Font Awesome CDN so that we can use the icons from Font Awesome library. Search for Font Awesome. Not Font Awesome. Let's search for CDN.js. Go to this website, CDN.js. Okay, search for Font Awesome. Font Awesome. Click on this Font Awesome link and copy this link tag and paste it above here. Let's comment and call this Font Awesome CDN. Paste it. Okay, my word wrap is inactive. Let's do settings, word wrap on. Okay, now you can see the classes here. Okay, let's give it an icon, i.fas, fa-bars. This will show the bar icon. Perfect, here it is. Alright, we're getting error if we click it because toggle menu is not defined yet. We can do that later. And after this button, after this div, actually let's create a sidebar. Give it ID and give it an ID of mobile menu and some classes, bg-gray-800, text white and width to full, medium, width to 64 on medium screen, and let's give it a space -y-6, py-7, px-2 hidden on medium block. And after this, let's create a div with some classes, text 2xl, font semi-bold, text center, medium block, and hidden on the larger screens. And let's call this dev lab. Okay, if I shrink this, expand this, this is how it's looking. And after this div, let's create a nav tag, and after that an anchor, href, we can give it a star and give it some classes, block py-2.5, px-4, rounded, hover, bg-gray-700, and call this dashboard. Now let's duplicate this few more times. Okay, the second one is going to be analytics. Third one is going to be settings, and the final one is log out. Let's see. So perfect. We can make it text left to see. No, let's give it text center. Alright, now so after this sidebar, let's create our main content section. Let's create a comment main content, and after this let's create a div with some class flex1 p4 padding 4 on medium p8. I mean from medium to the larger screen sizes, padding will be 8. And inside this div, let's create a header and give it some classes. Margin bottom 8, flex, justify between items, center. Inside this header, let's create a div and an h1. Give it some class text dash 3xl, font dash bold, text dash gray dash 900, non-dark mode, text to white, and let's call this social media dashboard. Okay, perfect. After this h1, let's create a p tag. Give it some classes text dash gray dash 600 on dark mode. Sorry, text dash gray dash 400. Let's call this welcome back John. Okay, let's check this out. Nice. Let's put some space between these two, so we can give it a margin top here of 2. Perfect. Now after this header, let's create our matrix grid. Let's create a div, give it some classes grid dash calls dash 1 on small, grid dash calls dash 2 on larger, grid dash calls to 4 and give it a gap of 4. Inside this div, let's create another div, give it some classes bg dash white on dark mode, bg dash gray dash 800, padding to 6, rounded larger, and shadow larger. Okay, let's see. Yes, nice. Inside this div, let's create an h2 and new messages. Also, let's give it some class names. Sorry, not class names, it's classes. Text large, font as semi-bold, text gray dash 700, dark text gray 300. Let's check this out. Nice. After this, let's create a p tag with some classes. Of course, these are coming from Tailwind classes. You can check them out on their website. Text dash 3xl, font to bold, text blue dash 600, dark text dash blue dash 400, and let's write 125 and see how it's looking. Nice. And let's create another p tag. Let's copy this and paste it. Let's change this to +10 since yesterday, and let's change some classes. Let's text sm smaller and Let's give it let's remove this font bold and change the color to text gray 500, and on dark text gray 400. Okay, now it's looking pretty. Okay, I think we are done with this first column. Now let's copy and paste it few times. So this div, let's copy and paste 2 more times, so we have 3 columns. Let's create another one. Okay, now it's perfect and has nice fluidity. Perfect, that's clear. Now let's change these values here. So the next one is going to be mentions. Okay, this is the first one, this is the second one. Let's change this to mentions. This number, let's change this to 85. Let's give it 5. Okay, now this one, total posts, and 1245 and 25 since yesterday's. Next up is the comments. Let's put 340 here and 30. Okay, we have new messages, mentions, total posts and comments. Okay, we are done with this row. Let's move on to the next. So after this 1, 2, this here, let's create another row, recent activity section. Let's create a div, and with the class of empty-8. Inside this, let's create a h2. Let's give it some classes. Text-2xl, font bold, text-gray-900. On dark mode, text-white, and margin bottom to 4. Let's call this recent activity, and after this h2, let's create another div. Let's give it some classes, and bg-white, on dark mode bg-gray-800, padding to 6, rounded large, shadow -large. Inside this div, let's create an ordered list. Give it some classes of space-y-4, only one class. So inside this let's create some list items. Let's first give it some classes. Flex items center space-x-4. Inside this, let's create a div. Give it some classes. Width of 10, height of 10 as well. bg-blue-100. On dark mode, bg-blue-900. Rounded full, and flex item center, justify center, not between. Inside this div, let's create a span tag, some classes, text blue-600, dark mode, text-blue-100. 400, and let's copy this icon. This profile icon you can copy and paste from the source code. I will provide the link in the description. So if I save it, and here we go. And so after this div here inside the li, let's create another div. We don't need any class here, and inside this let's create a paragraph tag. Give it some classes: font, semi-bold, text dash gray dash 700, on dark mode, text dash gray dash 300, and let's call this new followers. Okay, and after this p tag, let's create another p tag and call this at John Doe started following you. Let's call this new follower, not followers. Give it some classes: text small, text gray 900, 500, and dark mode, text gray 400. If I save it, okay, looking nice. And now let's just duplicate this li a few more times. Let's copy once and change this icon to this heart icon. This new follower to new like started. Let's change this to liked your post. So if I see, okay, there is no space between these two. Let's see in the UL. Okay, this should be space, not sapes or whatever I wrote. Space y. Okay, nice. Now let's duplicate this li again, copy and paste. Let's change this icon to this, and share icon, I believe. Let's call this new share, and John Doe shared your post. Let's change this to Alex Smith. Okay, I think we're done with the contents. Yes, nice fluidity, as you can see. Now let's work on this button here. Let's go to our script.js and let's create a function toggle menu. Remember, we created a button here and give it on click toggle menu, so when the button is clicked, this function will run. And let's create a document dot get element by id. Select the mobile menu dot class list dot toggle hidden. Okay, let's click. Perfect. Also, let's give it this button to cursor pointer. Nice. So this is it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It's really a short one, and hope to see you soon. Thank you, and make sure to subscribe and like. See you. Take care. Bye bye.